Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to discuss a topic that I've been thinking about a lot. A topic that I've talked about once before on this channel. And that is being alone but not lonely, and how being alone doesn't necessarily mean you're lonely, and how being lonely doesn't necessarily mean you're alone. And just that type of topic, how to deal with loneliness, how to deal with being alone, what to do, just all around that topic. I did want to quickly preface that this video is soft-spoken, and this is going to be a new series on my channel called Soft Spoken Discussions. And I decided to call it that because for a while I was thinking about making a podcast and talking about different topics. However, I realized that I would much prefer it if I could just have it all on one platform. I know there are some people who like ASMR and like soft spoken, but I also know that there are people who don't like ASMR but they like soft spoken, so I figured I may as well make this a series on my ASMR channel. This isn't going to change into some random channel. Don't worry about that. This is going to be ASMR. And it's going to stay that way, but there will be times where I film videos like this. And so I hope you enjoy, and I really don't know how long this video will be, but I just have some stuff to say. Also, you may hear things in the background, but I figured it's kind of more real and open if you can hear birds chirping and cars passing. So I, again, hope you enjoy. So the first thing I wanted to discuss was, again, feeling lonely while being not alone. I think a lot of people think that when people say they're alone, they mean that they're lonely. And that is honestly one of the most, the biggest misconception I think there is, because you can be alone and feel so content and full and happy, and you can be so full around people, have a bunch of friends, and yet feel so lonely. And I think that everything about how you feel when it comes to loneliness and when it comes to spending time with yourself and not necessarily being with a lot of people, it's that it all comes down to how you feel on the inside. And I don't mean to sound cliche and to sound like some bitch who thinks she's really philosophical and shit, but I have been pondering on the idea of it for a while, and I do think that a lot of people have this misconception of when people say that they are alone. I will say I used to actually feel lonely and be alone. I also used to think that the only way I could not feel lonely is if I had a romantic relationship or if I had a partnership with someone. Of course, that was romantic. And that's completely false. I think you can have a partnership and a relationship and still feel very lonely if you're not getting satisfied. Not sexually, but of course emotionally. And I think that, you don't have to have a partnership or a relationship to feel not alone. And I know this sounds, again, very cliche, but love is truly everywhere, and I think that love is the strongest feeling out there. If you have love from your friends or from looking at the stars, or literally you can feel love through how the morning breeze hits you when you walk outside, or how your dog greets you when you walk through the door, or how your friend hugs you after, they tell you something vulnerable. It's literally everywhere, and some people just think that the only way that you can feel full is through romantic love, and I used to think that so frequently. I used to think about that all the time, and if I'm being completely honest, that is not love, that is codependency. And this sounds cliche and corny, but you need to find love within yourself, and you will not feel lonely. You will not feel alone in a lonely way. You will be alone, but you will feel fulfilled. And I've thankfully come to that term, and I've thankfully have come to that sense, and I feel very content. Not that it matters to any of you, and I don't owe you any of this information, but I'm not talking to anybody at the moment. I have my friends, I have my family, I have my experiences around me, I have nature, I have things that make me happy, my hobbies, things I enjoy, and I think I feel love and I feel happy and fulfilled through doing those things, through seeing those people, through experiencing those experiences, but I do not feel alone even when I do things, or lonely even when I do those things alone. And I think that's what's most important. I think a lot of people just think that waiting and waiting and waiting until they get out of this slump of feeling lonely is the only way that they won't feel alone anymore. And in reality, you need to do your work. You need to start doing your own thing. You need to start doing things that make you happy. I know so many times people will go through breakups or they will feel lonely and they just sit there. They just sit there and do nothing. And while that's okay, feel your feelings, feel your sorrow. Don't wallow in it. Don't do that. That is so much worse for your mentality than it is to actually feel your feelings and then get over it. Will it take a few months, days, maybe even years? Sure. But as long as you're trying to get yourself out there, that doesn't mean break up, go to a club and get fucked up. No. I mean, doing things that truly make you happy and that you feel present and content. That is what's important. I don't know. I just think that a lot of people feel that when they are happiest, it's when they are busy, when they're lonely. When they're lonely, they feel like they have to be with people all the time to compensate for how they're feeling when they're not with anyone. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that in order to not feel lonely when you're alone, it's important for you to spend time with just by yourself. I used to be a very social person. I still am. Don't get it wrong. I still am. I love hanging out with my friends, seeing my friends, talking to my friends, but I really, really, really value my alone time as well. And I think that's just because my social battery needs to charge, but also because if I don't spend time alone, I forget that I need to be present, appreciate my own company. There are people who can't stand being alone because they figure that, if I'm alone, that means that I'm lonely. That means that I have no life. Well, if you're alone and you're spending it on your phone and you're not spending it doing something that you enjoy and spending it with hobbies that you have incorporated into your life, then of course you're going to feel that you are doing nothing with your life and that you're lonely because you're not being present. And I don't know, I think that is just something that I've been thinking about. I may be just rambling and making no sense to you, and you're probably like, what the fuck is this bitch talking about? But I don't know, I just think that it's very important for people to remind themselves that they don't need other people to feel happy. If anything, they need to spend more time by themselves. I know some people will say, yeah, I do want to spend time alone and appreciate my company more, but I'm nervous that if I go out and take myself out on a coffee date or go to a restaurant by myself, that I'll look like a lonely bitch. No, you won't. No, you will not. Bring a book. Bring a fucking coloring book. I don't know. Do something that makes you happy. Bring it. Get off your phone. Get off your phone. And spend time doing that. For instance, I am able to go to a restaurant and bring my book and sit down, table for one, and appreciate the time that I'm having at the restaurant. But if you're afraid, take it to go. Go to a sacred spot of yours, whether that be a beach or a mountain, or I'm not saying take a fucking hike, but like, you know, go to a little spot that you enjoy and just be present. I don't know, I think that that's so important. I'm not trying to sound like I'm fucking woke and stuff, but if you just take a second, breathe in the fresh air and think of things that you're so grateful for, maybe the meal that you have, maybe the book that you're reading, maybe the fact that you have grown since the last time that you have sat at that spot. I just think it's very valuable, and your heart will thank you. I saw a video today by a creator called Sophia Factor, and she said something that she heard from a podcast saying that people will wonder why they haven't found their soulmate, and it's because they haven't mated with their soul, their own soul, some shit like that, she said. And it makes a lot of sense. If you are not taking care of your own body and aren't loving yourself, how the fuck do you expect other people to come into your life? Because your inner self is going to reflect your outer life. And that's a fact. That is a fucking fact. I remember when I was so sad and dependent on other people to love me, and that made me love me, that I got disappointed over and over again. But now that I'm finally loving myself and appreciating myself, I am finding so many things in my life that are making me so much happier that doesn't necessarily involve other people. I don't need other people to make me happy. As long as you have your friends and your hobbies and your family, like obviously there are different like occasions where you're not as close with your family, or it's you haven't met the best friend group. As long as you're taking time to realize what you do deserve, and you're taking things that don't serve you in your life out, and you're spending time with yourself, providing things that you do deserve, you're going to see that in your outer life. I'm sorry if I'm not making sense, but I genuinely think that way. Anyways, I don't really know if I have anything to say, but in all, I do think it's very important for you to just find hobbies, maybe some things that you did when you were little, maybe some things that you have seen and you thought, that would be really interesting to try. Just do it. Just do it. You may think, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. Just fucking do it. It's gonna give you a peace of mind. It's gonna make you feel happy. It's one way or another. You're gonna enjoy it, trust me. And if you don't, move on to the next hobby and maybe you'll enjoy that. Anyways, yeah, it's very important for you to love yourself. If there are things you don't like about your personality, fix them. There are definitely some things I need to work on myself. And trust me, it's hard, especially if you've been like that your whole life, or, you know, a fraction of your life, a big fraction of your life. It's gonna take time. But if you're determined to fix it because you know it hurts other people, or if you know that it hurts you, then of course fix it. You are given this body, but the true you lies in your body, the soul. So yeah, I appreciate everyone who watched this video. If you have made it all the way to the end, let me know your thoughts. If you have anything to add that is positive, please add it, because I am very curious to see what you have to say. I also wanted to make a little disclaimer. I know that there will be different circumstances with how you feel in your life depending on your surrounding environments. Trust me, I've been through stuff like that, so I know. But in order to fix that, you need to be aware of it, and you need to say sorry to yourself. Forgive yourself, even if it wasn't your fault. Just so that your soul knows that you love it, you know? And then hopefully, when you are present with yourself doing hobbies you enjoy, you can take time and be grateful for the opportunities you are starting to have, because you have apologized to yourself and you have come to the terms that how you feel doesn't always have to be that feeling, that you can progress from it and get better. So yeah, anyways, I hope all of you have a lovely day. I hope you like this soft-spoken discussions series that I'm starting. I know this was a weird setup. I wanted it to be a little light, a little bit more up close, so I feel like it's more intimate and personal. I apologize for looking off to the side. I tend to do that when I am talking or thinking about certain things that are serious. Looking into the camera is also very intimidating. But yeah, I love all of you. Find things that you enjoy and do them. And let me know how it goes. Follow my Instagram if you're curious and you want to tell me how it went. Anyways, bye.